Now, let me ask you a simple question, right? How long does it take for racism to show itself? Is it generations? Is it policy? Or sometimes is it 15 to 30 seconds in a McDonald's parking lot? Because that's all it took in Napa, California. A black woman double parks at a McDonald's to grab a hot sauce for her breakfast burrito, right? And 15 to 30 seconds later, literally, suddenly she is told that you do not belong here. The woman shared a video that has since gone viral. And what begins as irritation over parking quickly turns into something much more darker. A older white woman blocks her car. She slams her brakes. She approaches her vehicle. And this is where we must slow down, because racism doesn't always arrive with slurs. Sometimes it arrives with code, and sometimes it arrives at a McDonald's. Let's watch.
You will never come across another nigga in the world that's gonna do it.
You were parked illegally, and then you took. I will call the Napa police and report this. You don't belong here. Do you see what you just did? I have never had that happen to me in Napa.
You telling me I don't belong here because I'm black? Because I'm black? Because I'm black? Bye. Get out of my face. Get out of my face.
Here.
Get out of my face. You should never tell me I don't belong here.
You should be in jail.
I should be in jail? Ma'am, do you know who I am? Do you know who I am?
Now, let's be honest for a moment. This was never about parking lot. This was about who is allowed to exist comfortably in certain spaces. As we know, Napa is a wine country. It is a tourist country. It is a wealthy country. And for some people, Black presence in those spaces feels like an intrusion. And as we can see in this video, it's quite clear. And I do want to say that in South Africa, we recognize this immediately. You know, when I saw it, I am reminded of the times that many instances of people that are told that you do not belong in this neighborhood, or you do not fit the profile, or the area is private for some odd reason because there's Black people trying to enter. It's the same narratives, just different accents, but it is the same message. And the idea that space itself has a race is quite diabolical. Now, the young woman tries to leave, right? And she pulls into the drive-through to avoid the confrontation. And the white woman follows her. Threats escalating, and the police are invoked, and not for safety, but for control. Because when some white people feel uncomfortable, the state becomes their weapon of choice. Now, this woman said, and I quote, "You should be in jail for double parking." Let that sink in. And this is how Blackness is criminalized in real time, as we can see in this video. Because why is she being arrested for double parking? Why is she being in jail for double parking? And here's the truth many people don't want to confront. White people are allowed to be rude and impatient and wrong, and Black people are punished for existing imperfectly. Double park as a Black woman and suddenly you're uneducated and you're a threat to public order. And what's striking is how this Black woman responds, right? And I applaud her because she doesn't escalate, she doesn't threaten her, she doesn't perform violence to satisfy anyone's stereotype, but instead she holds her ground. She holds her ground, and that too is unacceptable to some people, and it irritates their spirits because the real offense wasn't the parking, it was Black refusal to shrink. Some commentators tried to focus on the parking lot, and this is quite important because this is always how it goes, isn't it? You'll hear them say, "Oh yeah, but she was parked illegally," as if parking violation justifies racial harassment, as if McDonald's parking lots are secured ground. Now let's be clear for a moment. Once someone says you do not belong here, the conversation is no longer about rules, but it's about belonging and who gets to decide that. And as you can see in this video, this woman has appointed herself as a parking enforcement. She's appointed herself as a moral authority and immigration control. And it's quite sad that When Black people enter spaces once reserved for whiteness, the smallest mistake becomes proof that we do not belong there. And the response is always quite disproportionate. Now, many viewers, of course, supported her. They saw what was really happening. They recognized the escalation, the threat, because lived experience teaches you to recognize danger before it explodes. And that's what we are seeing in this video. So the next time someone says, "Why do you make everything about race?" remember the story. Remember the story, because sometimes race shows up over nothing more than a parked car and reveals everything about power and ownership in a modern world. 15 seconds. That's all it took. Let's continue the conversation in the comment section. I want to hear what your thoughts on this. And while you're at it, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. My name is Naledi Mfoloe, reporting live in Johannesburg, South Africa.